My guest for today, he is associated with Marines. He had to ship himself out from Singapore to challenge his comfort zone in realizing his full potential to be what he is today. He will be sharing his stories and the journeys that he embarked back in 2018 after we roll out the intro. Welcome to Lepak with Ant. Let's hear what our guests have to say. Or there are beans to spill. Strap on the seatbelt and let's go for a ride with me. We can learn from our guest's story. So, subscribe to my channel as we can experience life journeys together. How is it so? My guest for today is associated with Marines. Back in 2018, he has to uproot himself to Thailand to play for Siam Navy FC. Currently, he's back in Singapore and he is one of the key members for the team, Lion City Sailors. He had his first breakthrough in the 2020 Singapore Premier League. He was voted Player of the Year. I'm sure right now, my viewers already know who my guest is for the day. Let's welcome Gabriel Quag.
Hello everyone.
Alright, Gabriel, thanks for your time. I know you have a busy schedule before coming here, so perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Gabriel Quag, for those who don't know me. Currently a professional footballer playing in Singapore for Lion City.
When you actually started playing for the national team?
Okay, let me just bring you back slightly further. I started football at 15. When
15.
I was actually into NFA, that was an academy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was how my journey began, and we have the NS kind of thing. But I was officially offered a professional contract at 21 when I finished my NS.
Okay.
Yeah, and I broke through to the national team when I was 23 in 2013.
Okay, 2013.
Yeah. So now he's 21, probably about 8 years in the
About 8
national
years now
team.
in the national team.
Yeah.
Okay. Perhaps you'd like to share with our viewers about your experience
Yeah.
with the national team in
Yeah,
these
sure.
8 years.
Of course, definitely glad to share. I think I still remember my first moment when I was called up. It was after one of the games when I was playing with the Lions 12.
Okay.
So I had some inside infos that I was probably going to be drafted in the squad. So
Alright.
the feeling got me excited.
Okay.
I would say still a young boy at 23. And when the official list came out, I was definitely ecstatic and very happy. So I shared the news with my girlfriend back then, kind of things. Yeah,
Alright.
so I still remember we went on the trip. It was Cambodia and Laos. So definitely another beautiful memory. My first cap, I got my first goal, scored on my debut.
On the debut?
Yeah.
Alright, that is always a good feeling for...
And definitely something that not many players in the world can say they have done it, to be scoring on your debut for the national team, because we only have one chance in our career.
Alright,
So I think I'm a proud holder of
that record.
Yeah, of course.
It still stands now?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright.
It was a very eventful day because I scored, I got my first assist also in that game, I got a yellow card. Yeah, so it's something that I will remember.
Everything first.
Yeah, everything.
Okay. Thereafter, your career actually took off, came to prominent in the way where the Lions 12, where we were playing in the Malaysian League.
2013 was still the Lions 12 days. I think
Okay.
many are familiar with that because that was one of the big moments in Singapore football. Yeah, but unfortunately, it was short-lived. It ceased in 2015. But then again, it was still good 4 to 5 years for me.
Alright.
I think it kind of brought everyone in Singapore together.
Yeah, I
because
can
of football,
remember.
So, after 2015, then we went on to different clubs.
That you actually won the title or Malaysia Cup or something like that.
We won the league in 2013.
Oh.
We won the cup in 2015.
Okay.
That was the last year.
Last year where then after
they
that
decided probably this Singapore team was doing too well and they have to stop.
Okay. So were any moments during the national team where you have your best memorable moments that you're proud of?
Every moment in these 8 years is I still remember clearly, and it's a moment that I always will not forget. To play, it's a dream as a young boy to play for your country.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think some prominent moments are like on my third cap, which I scored against Syria, Jalan Besar, the one which I came on and I scored with my second touch. I think that is something that till today it's still being spoken about. Yeah, that's another beautiful moment for me.
Okay. Then how about, I'm sure there are always moments where you are really so-called down, where you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Is there any situation where that you experienced before?
Yeah, I think I always believe nobody's career will be forever
On the
at a
rise.
peak. There's always this graph of up and down. Of course, I have my fair share also. There were periods where I was not selected for the Asian Games. That hurts. And even simple things like not being the first 11, not playing for a couple of games. I think these are moments when we always want to play. So I would take that as a mini setback. It's just all these. I appreciate all these moments as experience because I think it kind of shaped me up who I am today to be mentally stronger, and I never want to remember that. I never want to experience that feeling anymore.
I mean, it's not a good feeling, it's a lousy feeling that you would not like to associate with, and then that could be a kind of motivation factor for you to train harder, to prove to yourself that you actually belong here.
Definitely.
Right? I mean, it's always you got to prove somebody, right? But for me, most of the time, I would say that proving to yourself you belong here, and subsequently, others have the eye to see, and they will actually acknowledge, and then that.
At the end of the day, you can put in a hard work and all, but what you ultimately want is somebody who actually believes in you. See, so you just feel that all your effort and hard work is reaped.
I mean, in our life, there is always up and downs, right? And quite prominently, there is a turning point for you in your career. Yeah, perhaps you'd like to touch more a little bit on this. Yeah.
I think that I will actually divide my career into a few segments.
I
divide into half, the earlier stage of my 20s was one. And I think I will probably take 2018 as one of my more turning point in my career where I actually went overseas because actually it was my first time venturing overseas. Didn't know what to expect, but of course hearing all the experience from my peers who have went for a couple of years. So actually I was excited also when I got the offer, and after discussion and speaking to my wife, she was very supportive of me going.
That's very important, I would say.
Of course, because back then I had
a young daughter.
Having her blessings to go overseas, it really felt so good and it felt right. So I think it was a good age. I was 28 then. The right moment in my career to see if I can make a further jump forward to
become better or realizing your full potential.
So going there, it wasn't easy. There was a lot of hype, and I think Thai League was at that moment, and even now it's I think the best league in the region now,
Southeast Asia. Yes.
So I didn't know what to expect. I just went there, just optimistic, and I would say. Not easy living there alone, but culture-wise, I'm not so worried because I don't have any problem with food. So when I went there, I took a few things like, for example, some initiative on my end. I picked up the language, I engaged the teacher, because that was how I wanted to succeed. To communicate with my teammates, the management. So that was a bit of effort on my end. But I think the main takeaway for my whole stint there was the challenges faced, because transiting there over now, I'm becoming a foreigner, no longer a player.
Oh yes, definitely.
Whereby I have lesser room for errors. The younger players, the local players are looking up to me, and being a foreign player, that added pressure to perform, to carry.
I mean that is a kind of expectation, because you are foreign players.
So going there, I tell myself that week in, week out, I have to perform day in, day out in training. And there are, of course, like what you said, there are bad times also, like in training, games, and it's not easy because I'm there alone without the support of friends and wife. I only had myself.
Mm-hmm.
So there were days that I was just sulking, crying myself to sleep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and for your info, I worked with 6 coaches there because
6 coaches.
I,
Wow.
yeah, my club wasn't the best.
Oh,
So
you mean
6 coaches
throughout the
So,
whole
yeah, throughout the 1 year plus.
1 year
yeah,
plus
yeah.
you there? Okay.
Because
Okay.
you know my club didn't do well, and you know in Thailand how ruthless they are.
Okay,
Their coaches. So
yeah.
you know 2 months in we had a change of coach, then you new adaptation. So I worked with 6 coaches.
Wow.
So there are of course like 2 coaches who didn't really fancy me, so I didn't really feature at all.
Yeah.
So that was some of the pains and what
Wow.
I felt there. Yeah.
So be alone there
Yeah.
is even more.
Yeah. So
harder to
I
cope.
just had to find myself like certain the things that keeps me
Alright.
because it was either to carry on and fight on, or I would just crack under pressure.
Oh yes.
Yeah, but I chose to fight on, and
Yeah.
I think that year was pivotal because it kind of like I worked a lot with my mind subconsciously. Now that I look back,
Okay.
whereby you know, I think the mind is a very strong tool, like
Mm-hmm.
how we want our body to function. Because if you
Right.
totally shuts off mentally, I think
Yeah.
you're gone. I think that's one of the key aspects in sports.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I would say that year is one of the main turning point in my life. When I came back, then it kind of like propelled me to whatever like I want to do. Things were clearer.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
think I have gone through a harder times, so
Mhm.
nothing can be harder anymore.
Yeah. Like if you hear what Gabriel said, right? His mind is clearer. So sometimes clarity gives you the power to know where you want to go and exactly what to do. Right? So perhaps when you're back in Singapore, you actually went back to Warriors.
Yeah.
And also Warrior went into some kind of financial issue,
Yes.
but in the Singapore Cup, right, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, and you guys had a good run.
Yeah, we went on to the
Yeah,
Singapore.
and you were actually named the captain of the team as well for that season with Warriors. But what behind the scene, how was it?
I think that year was another very important year for me. It was another turning point, and I would say I would combine these 2 years together because it gave me different challenges. Like in Warriors, in Thailand, things were good. There wasn't any financial issues, but I wasn't the main player of the team. Yes, I was one of foreigner, but of course there were the
Mhm.
Brazilians and all.
Mhm.
Whereas to Warriors, I would say I was probably the main player in the team,
Like the-
where
the
everyone
so-called
was
star.
looking. Yeah, when the chips are down, I
Yeah.
was the one they looked up to. And it certainly wasn't easy because of the financial issues. You know, players were totally not motivated. I mean, who can blame them and us? You know? But I
Yep,
think
yeah.
it was more challenging instead because we had to find that motivation to come to training
Yes, exactly.
and even more to play.
Yep.
And me being the captain of the team, to how to motivate them. You know, to even motivate myself is a problem, and to
Yeah.
motivate a bunch of team.
Yeah.
So I think that was another challenge for me and a learning experience which I'm still grateful to despite that tough year. The experience was something that I'll never forget because I'm still grateful to my teammates, my brothers there, my management, you know,
Mhm,
all and all. I think ultimately they still gave me the chance and
Mhm,
he really
mhm.
believes in me. So
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think that's what I need for my own, for
Yeah.
somebody to believe in me, and I think I've repaid more than enough for
Yeah,
the team.
I mean, like I said early on, right? The Warriors had a very good run for it. Overall, the press and the media are really focused on you guys, you see, because despite despite not having being paid, right? I mean, you the bunch of guys, you know, the brother in arms, I would
Yeah.
say, right, and really make themselves known that sometimes we just have to fight on, despite what's happening.
I think that year also everyone was afraid of us. You know, I think the media and everybody was surprised also with how we performed. And in fact, like they were afraid to play Warriors because I think, you know, when you go to a boxing ring,
Yeah.
you fight with somebody who has nothing to lose.
Yeah,
You're more afraid
exactly.
because
This
you
is-
don't know how to prepare against them. You know.
Yeah.
So I think it was fun
It's,
also
it's,
for us.
it's kind of wild horse
Yeah,
running.
you don't know what to expect.
You know how
Yeah.
what it turned out to be. So, subsequently, the White Knight came.
You can say it.
All right. I always say that how I wish that in Singapore soccer we have many Forest League coming in, to support the game, right? Because funding is always a key issue
Yeah.
for our local clubs.
all around the world.
Yeah. So I would say yeah. Okay, and then when the calling came from Lion City Sailors, how was it?
I think it was, as usual, the end of the year all the contract talks and negotiation, and I think actually the year before they were already pursuing me, but I think I gave my word to Warriors.
Oh yeah, because you
I
broke the
signed
contract.
before, and I felt that I need at least a year with them, to kind of repay.
Yeah,
and I think I did pretty well there. So I think with all that's happening, I think they can't fault me for wanting to move on.
All right.
So I felt, it was good. It was a good feeling to be pursued by other clubs and team like Home United back then when it was named. So I think the GM came to me. We sit down for coffee. He shared with me the plans moving forward. I like what I hear, and I think he also acknowledged that I had a very good 1-2 year, especially the year with Warriors, and how the new coach has really watched me. Back then it was Aurelio Vidma. Yeah, he saw and he felt that I was a very key personnel in his plans
setup.
Yeah, so I really like what I hear. I think it's important for me as a player. So I think there wasn't much hesitation in agreeing to join them.
Okay. So subsequently,
fast
forward 2 years, right? I mean, of course, 2020 is a season whereby it was plagued by the COVID-19, where the league went into disarray, a lot of disruptions, a lot of new protocols that the players have to follow and all those things. And I'm sure those moments are quite challenging moments for you as well, right? Like what Stipe has actually shared in episode 3, right? So for yourself, maybe how you actually overcome that kind of new approach, the new norm, I would say. Yes.
No, I think this COVID situation is something that we don't know. Like we didn't expect.
Yeah, nobody expected.
It hit us without us knowing, and it didn't give us time to prepare.
Yes.
But of course we have to credit the government for stepping in and
all right. Definitely.
Everyone feels safe. As much as we hate all these rules, regulations, protocols, but if you look at it now compared to other countries, those who are not prepared are actually suffering. So, but thankfully for the sporting scenes, I think they recognize that football is still a very important sport, especially, and how it actually can unite everyone. So, fortunately, we actually resumed the league, kind of thing. Of course, it's not easy, with COVID. Not only footballers, I think so many people are being affected by it. But of course, there are people who, like the e-commerce logistics, where actually have boom this period. So, so I think for us, we are actually glad and fortunate that for our club also and the league, salaries wise, we are not affected. So I think I speak for everyone that we should be grateful, and thankful in this difficult period. We are still, we can put food on the table.
Yes.
Because I think maybe the people there recognize that for us to be still playing and all, if we are affected by all these financial issues and all, definitely your head is not clear.
Yes.
And who can work properly if you are bothered by all these things? So I think that was a very key element in helping the whole league to actually.
Okay, I mean, as I mentioned in the beginning of the introduction, right? 2020 Singapore Premier League voted Player of the Season. All right, I mean, I watched the game. I can see that the effort that you put in almost every game, right, despite having the COVID situation, and I would say you are pretty consistent in every match. So, what was the push factor for you to or whatever you want to call it?
I think there's a few things like when I came back and all, like I just wanted to maintain my good form and I just wanted to show who I am. I have already set a benchmark. I don't want to fall short. I want to keep pushing. But having said that, besides it's also probably the COVID year where, like what I mentioned just moments before, how blessed and thankful am I able to still be playing. So all these kind of things factor in, and I just feel grateful and thankful and blessed, and I just, I'm doing something I love. I'm making a living out of it. So I feel that it's only right for me. I don't want to shortchange myself, shortchange my family, my friends, my boss.
Okay.
And therefore, I gave all my effort. And
Yeah.
of course, now 2 years, 3 years down the road, definitely gonna be still the same effort from me.
Yeah. Okay. Even from besides the SPL matches, right? Even for the national team, the work rate nowadays from you, I would say that it's much higher. Yeah. So that speaks for itself. I mean, it's performance, right? Action speaks louder than words.
I'm
Yeah.
thankful to hear that.
I mean that is
yeah,
always,
third party
yeah.
view, yeah.
So what would be your aspiration now for the Man City Sailors? Now you are in your second year of contract with
Yeah.
them, right? So moving on.
I think when I first signed also,
Yeah.
the direction and the target was clear. To win the league, to challenge on all fronts, to win everything on the table that's on offer, and
Okay.
of course to qualify for continental tournament.
All right.
Unfortunately, we fell short of our target last year. We
Yeah.
came close.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't call it a failure. I think
Yeah.
it was the first year and we kind of showed what we were capable of
All right.
moving to this year. However, I feel that this year not winning will definitely be considered failure because
Yep.
2 years is, I think, is a fair, reasonable amount of time. And especially this year when so much more thing has been built in and
Yep.
brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to win the league this year. So of course, my aim for the team is to win the league. There's no cup, so definitely only the league is an offer.
All right.
And qualify for Champions League next year.
Mm-hmm.
Personal goals hold up. I want to be the best player in Singapore again. I want to win the
Okay.
league again. And
All right.
however, if I can do both at the same time, that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I wish you all the best because that will be history making, right? To have a voted player of the season twice in a row,
Yeah, back to back.
back to back. Yeah, so far none has done that, right? Yeah. So okay, as usual to all my viewers, right? Is there something that you like to say to them?
I think, of course, I'm very glad to be able to share my experience, in this episode. Just for me, some advice will be just keep working hard, just keep believing, and I think staying humble is a very important thing because you never know. I think especially things in football where things changes so quickly. One moment you can be up, one moment you can be down. So important is just keep believing, just keep working, and just keep staying humble.
Right. Thank you so much, Gabriel.
My pleasure.
Thank you, viewers. See you in the next episode. Bye. Now you have heard the stories from Gabriel. His turning point is back in 2018 where he has to go through the experience that he had in Thailand. That reminded me of a quote from Lou Holtz, a former American football player. He said, "Ability is what you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it." This is exactly what Gabriel did. He has the motivation, but at the end of the day, it's the attitude that he had that made him what he is today. So much for today's episode, and cheers and bye for now.